Alright, finally. Some of us have been waiting on these guys forever. I was such a big fan of the toy line in the 80s. I didn't have a lot of the toys. I had like He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Skeletor and Trapjaw. And I think that was it for the ones that I actually owned. I had friends that had more of those, but I had more G.I. Joes and Star Wars than anybody else for the most part as far as figures went. And so, we'd always build these big armies, and the Masters were like the Titans fighting against the smaller Joes and Star Wars guys. But, yeah, I think we only had like one Horde Trooper between us, and it's nice finally to have a pair of Horde Troopers. So, yeah, basic white box. Has words on the back. 2 figures with accessories is the contents. And, alright, we'll open this guy up and check him out a little more closely. There's got to be a better way to say that. And here is the Horde Troopers out of the box. They are the evil mechanical enforcers of Hordak. Collect an army of Horde Trooper robots. Or wish that you could, because they sold out in like less than an hour after Scott said, "We have plenty." Okay, I don't know what his version of plenty is, but it's the most requested army builder, the most obvious army builder out of the entire line, and it sold out in an hour. So they were really being conservative, in my opinion. Because these guys really should have lasted a day if they actually had plenty. So hopefully they come back with a bunch of customer service stock that they're holding. Maybe something will come to light that they didn't put all of them up. I'm just speculating. That would be nice if they only put up, let's say, 75% of them. And then, let's say they just pop up out of the blue somewhere, almost Spirit of Hordak style, like just on some random other day. And they last for another hour. That'd be awesome. But I got my 2 sets. I really only wanted 2 to open. So yeah, I'm happy. But the box is cool. Your standard Masters Classics box. And on the back, of course, we have a plethora of Horde guys. And no leech on the back. And yeah, so that's really cool. I'm going to have to drag my fighting foemen out so I can have all my Horde guys out together. But yeah. Little bio on the back there, which I will have a still picture of. One Horde Trooper right there. Spirit of Hordak, which I don't have him loose. I have his loose crossbow, and I have him in box. But, yeah, and you guys saw my capture the other day, so. Alright, just bust these guys out of the packaging and check them out. Alright, so now we got these guys all loosened up out of the packages and everything, and toyed with them a little bit, and actually found something really curious about my set. And we'll get to that in a minute, but first let's look at the accessories here. We're going to steal Grizzlor's stand. Man, he's really on there. I really hate to take him off. So we're not going to steal Grizzlor's stand, but we are going to look at the accessories. First off, we'll look at the Horde shield here, and we'll just use the hand stage to refocus the camera. Nice detailing on the Hordak face on there. And of course, the back has the lackluster lack of details they've come to expect on the back side, and that's fine. Cost saving measure and all that. Not everything is done that bland, but it's the back. One thing that I don't like is whenever they put the clip all the way on one side, making it really one-armed. It kind of depends on the figure, but whenever there's a way to put it in the middle, I'm sure they try. But yeah, they're kind of like, whatever. But it's still cool. Nice glossy red with the faint metallic highlights on there. And a pair of the Hordak Trooper crossbows that has kind of like that little head visor thing on the front of it there. And it has like the same kind of details you'd expect. Nice red highlights and everything on there. On the bottom too. So that's pretty neat. And then a pair of the little stunner stick things right here, which are nice and silvery. Got a little button on them, nice little ball, nice slick even silver paint. The obligatory China on there, because you gotta have it on every single piece. And then of course the more traditional Horde Trooper staff. I got some cracking voice going on. Must be going back into puberty. Must be aging backwards. This thing is really cool. I mean, it has a really nice little Horde Dragon guy on it. It's a nice glossy red. It's all one color. I don't really see... Looks like there's supposed to have been a couple of metallic highlights on on this portion of the staff, the mechanical portion of the staff, but they're really faint. I mean, it's really kind of hard to make out. But it's got some really nice detail, and they fit really good in the guy's hands. You know, their hands have the... Man, I really should have set this up a little bit better. But you got this really weird knurled hand there that holds it really good. It's like a trigger kind of finger thing going on. And another one's your standard fist. But yeah, looking at the Horde Troopers themselves, they look great. Has some silver accents on the shoulders, the nice big red Horde emblem with the whole Horde face there, a little bit of metallic red highlights on it, the gold belt buckle as it were, some nice gray on the arm gauntlets, a little bit of red in there, all Boba Fett from the 1995 Star Wars line, a little bit of silver down here on the boots, a little bit of silver on the inside, silver on the back and butt there. This one has some extra battle damage, even though it's the clean one. Not sure what that's about, but not to worry about it. Looks like just a little blotch of overspray. And yeah, cool. Not too shabby. Now these guys do sport all the normal articulation, even though it's a totally different figure. Like, it has a lot of details and stuff that they didn't put on the other ones. Like this crotch thing is, you know, really flexible and all that, but it still accommodates the legs really good. But it has like a ball jointed head, and it's not really hindered by the collar at all. But if you're not careful, you can put the head, you know, above the collar by accident, and it doesn't really, and it might catch. But that's really it. Get your Filmation look there. The ball hinge shoulders, the swivel and bend elbows, which is awesome because they don't have a bicep swivel, they just have a forearm swivel. It replaces it. You have the cut swivel for the wrist, waist twist, and ab crunch that is super chunky, or it was until I just popped the paint. Nice hip movement there on that same ball type hinge. You got the same thing with the knee down here. You got a knee and then a swivel right below it, and you do get a little bit of a pivoty and rocking motion out of the ankle, though it doesn't really seem to want to rock that much, just pivot. But yeah, there he is, waiting for these guys forever. And I popped off the heads there so I could pop Hordax head on and try that out and everything. But I didn't quite get that far because I found something interesting when I popped off both their heads. Let me go and pop this guy's off while he's in my hand. This is my clean trooper. And we'll just pop that off. And he's right here. And he's got a rubbery, but it's not really rubbery. This is really like tough and kind of hard on there. And number two here, separate him from his stand. Go and pop his noggin off. Ooh, the headless Horde Troopers. That's my new costume. Now this one, it's actually about as squishy, maybe a little bit more squishy, but it's still pretty hard. But here's what is interesting. There are two different molds. This has like a protruding plug that has like a sleeve that goes around the actual ball socket there on top, where this one's just a solid cast thing in there. So that's kind of interesting. Wouldn't have expected that. So I wonder what the point is of having two different molds. I mean, where the battle damage one's coming out of one factory and the other one's coming out of another one, and not just a thing where they, you know, took the parts that were going to get this damage on them and sprayed those and had them in a separate pile. Did they come from different factories or different parts of one factory to be assembled as a set later? And it's kind of weird. I mean, I would kind of figure that they would just have the parts themselves after initial painting, just go through and get split, and, you know, one here, one there, one here, one there kind of thing. But no, apparently that's not the case. So yeah, these guys are totally awesome. So glad I got these army builders. I haven't opened up my Snake Man. Those guys are still in the box because I only got one set. I accidentally sold my extra ones, and normally I keep a set in the box, and I just haven't got around to opening up my last one. So yeah, but other than that, I've got all my army builders out. So let's go ahead and hoard this desk up a little bit, and then we'll talk the how great these guys actually are. All right, so here's all the Horde guys that I have access to. Of course, the three obvious missing ones are my your converted fighting foemen, which they got put back in the box. I didn't have room to display them right now, so yeah, they got put away. And then poor Octavia and Mosquito. Oh gosh, I forgot the most obvious one. I'm gonna pop them out of the box. I'll look at them while I talk. But yeah, everybody that all the Horde are right here, I believe, except for those three and this guy. This guy. Oh, that's good. I picked this one. This package got smushed. See, this is straight out of the box. I just opened that box up if you just saw my previous video. But this is all crunchy. It's fine. I don't know which one I'm going to open now. Montana. Haha. Can. Yeah, so that's all the Horde as far as I know. Is there any other Horde guys that I'm missing? Because you got Grizzlor, Leech, Hordak. Those are my favorite three. Plus, to round out the original four is Montana. Then you got the Horde Trooper Army Builders. And then you got Catra from POP. And what Scorpia is on the way. You got the Hurricane Hordak, Horde Prime Alternate. And then the Fighting Foeman, if I didn't mention those again. So that's it, yeah. That's everybody who's been released so far, right? Let me know in the comments. But, yeah, these guys are awesome. Totally try to snag you a set. I would say that I've seen them on the board for like around $70-75 plus shipping, which really, that's not that much more. I mean, yeah, they're $54 day of sale, but you're talking $10 shipping, $5, so they're already $65. Actually, about $65 already if you just bought them day of sale, you know, as one pack. Maybe like 66, 67, depending on the shipping on these guys individually, which would have been like 11 or 12 bucks, $9, somewhere in that ballpark of $65 shipped. So if you can get it for 70, 75 bucks shipped, that's not bad. I mean, really, you're talking only $37.50 per trooper, which people are paying $40 left and right for a lot of the Masters Classics. So they're totally worth it if you can grab one. I mean, people be splitting up the sets and trading. There's a lot of guys who only want one per their set. So I've seen them out there. If you're not looking, then you don't want them that bad. It sucks that they sold out so quick. But yeah, these guys are definitely an easy, I'll say 9.5. Because for me, if they'd been a little more filmation accurate with the head or given us alternate heads, that'd have made them a 10. That's the only complaint I have. The articulation's great. They have new arm articulation. They come with 2 of all the weapons, and all the weapons you could possibly want, plus their own custom crossbow. Because really, for me, just the prod staffs and the red staffs, and I'd have been happy. But yeah, that's about it. 9.5 for the Horde Troopers. Awesome, get a set. And I'll compare these guys in another snippet after this. Alright, now it's time to put 2 items in proximity to each other for the purpose of criticizing them separately and together. There's got to be a better way to say that. Anyway, here we go with the one freshly deboxed Horde Trooper, and then the teeny tiny Horde Trooper Junior here from the vintage line. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the stupid staff. Yep, I'm one of those guys that didn't get a staff. So, oh well. Thought I had one, but I think I just threw an extra like Zodak pistol in there just so he'd have a red accessory, and never did bother getting him a staff. But yeah, he's kind of beat up and all that, but yeah, you can look and see there. They like all the design cues are there. You got your fin is there, your angled visor's there. However, this one really I think was unintentionally low. I think it's kind of like a happy medium between the two. It would have been ideal as far as doing a new one. You know what I mean? Like this is a little too high and prominent. And I think if it had been done to where it's just a little bit more concealed, because now I'm at like a higher angle and you can see the visor and all that, you know. But whatever. But yeah, it has the logo on there. Has the armor, the boots, the knee pads are the same on there and all that, and that's cool. And then on the back, you know, got a similar sculpting. You know, it has the same details. So really, I mean, this is just like a really good reimagining of the vintage toy. I mean, they did a really good job being true to the toy aesthetic, aside from the sunken helmet, which I think I could have been done a little bit better. I mean, now it's super prominent, whereas on the vintage toy it was super low. The one thing they didn't add was his little action feature, which was he blew up. Basically, you push his little button, and he's supposed to split in half, which he still kind of does, sort of. But yeah, it's kind of... But he's complete. You can see all the little doodads inside there and everything. Head turns. I mean, but honestly, the heads look the same. Just this one's really sunken down. So let me try to... No, there's no way to get this guy higher, really. I mean, you can kind of like lean it back a little bit, but anywho. But yeah, there we go. And that's the Horde Trooper from the Vintage series and the Masters of the Universe Classics Horde Trooper side by side, just to show you the guys are what they look like there. And I got my Fright Zone in the background. I got 3 of these things, so he needs one for a backdrop. This is probably the better of the extra 2 that I have. It does have a tree. I think I do have a gate. No puppet, of course. And of course the jaw is broken down there. But you know, for a backdrop, it's not bad. You could tape or glue the jaw in place there. And you know, that's what I was thinking about doing, is just making this a backdrop. Because I've got 2 other ones. I've got one that's like complete. I think the tree's got a crack in it, but everything else is like pretty good. The puppet is stored in parchment paper. I heard that was a good way to store it. I don't know. I'll have to relook at that. But I've got one complete. But I've got 2 that are like this, and this is the better of the 2 crappy ones. So if you need one, I'll hook somebody up pretty cheap. But anyway, there you go. Horde Troopers are awesome. That's the lesson for today. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.